I came across the news about Diddy and Lori breaking up. First of all, we don't even know for sure that they broke up. It's probably just a misunderstanding. I don't know. It could be anything, right? But it made me think about something that I wanted to make a video about, and that is this. If you know a person to live their life a certain way and you allow them into your life, don't then start trying to change them because you already know how they like to live their lives. People do not change for anyone. People only change when they decide to change, and that change might not even be permanent. So don't go into a relationship, not just romantic relationships, but it could also be a business relationship, right? Or just friendship. Don't go into a relationship with someone with the expectation that they're going to change at some point, sometime down in the near future, because that may never happen. And if you're not comfortable with who a person is at the time that you're about to get into a relationship with them, just don't get into that relationship with them, because you're just going to complicate your life. You're going to create a whole bunch of mess. You're going to have all these kids that you don't, with someone that you don't want to have kids with, or you're going to go into a project, like a business project, and put all this money on the line that you may end up losing when the business tanks, or when your personalities clash and stuff like that. So I just really wanted to make this video when I saw this. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we've all heard this many times, that we can't change people, right? I feel like we hear it so many times that we kind of brush it off, or like we stop listening to it when we meet people. But I just kind of wanted to talk about it today on how we really cannot change people. And the most important thing, quite frankly, is not trying to change a person from who they are. The important thing is understanding people for who they really are. So I'm talking about this couple. If someone has a particular lifestyle, or they're used to doing things a certain way and they're grounded in doing things that way, and you come into their life, we cannot think that we can actually change them, because it will not work. It's not so much a question of, well, you're not special enough to change a person, or you think you're better than the other people that's been around that person. It's not about that at all. It's more a question of, people are who they are. If they decide to do things differently, it has to come from them, and you never really know if that will ever happen, and you never really know if they will stick to it. Okay, so it's best that if you have a friend, or if you start a relationship with someone, you need to be willing to accept them for who they currently are at the time that you're going into a relationship with them. You cannot go into a friendship or a relationship with someone, or start a partnership, like a business partnership, and think, okay, well, 2 or 3 years down the line, I'm sure they'll be different. They'll be thinking differently, they'll be acting differently, because you never really know that that's going to happen. So you can't start a relationship based on that. So we need to just accept people for who they are. If they have a lifestyle that we do not think is compatible with ours, then it's best if we don't start a relationship with them at all, or have like a long distance, arm's length kind of relationship with them, and that would be best. Take these people for instance, like if you're in a relationship with a celebrity that has to have lots of other people around them, or they're used to being in other relationships in addition to whatever main relationship they're in, they're not going to change. They're not going to stop doing that. It's what they do. It's what they will continue to do. So if you have a problem with the way a person lives their life, don't allow them into your life and then begin to complain or begin to try to change them, because that's just not gonna work. If only we stop and get to know people, and then decide if we want to let them into our lives or not, before we actually get into business relationships or any sort of relationships with them, things will go so much better. I saw this story regarding Didi and Lori, and the first thing that came to my mind was, did he actually do anything wrong here? Because this is who he is, and everybody knows that this is who he is. And if you know someone is a certain way, but you allow yourself to be convinced that they're going to change at this point, after we've heard so many times that people do not change. I mean, you cannot change a person. People have to be willing to change themselves. Well, you know, when we've heard this so many times, but you still allow yourself to be convinced and get into a relationship with someone that you know has this kind of a lifestyle, at what points do we stop and say, okay, you know what, maybe this is my fault, maybe I shouldn't have gone into a relationship with this person? But I don't want to make this exclusive to dating relationships, just relationships in general, in business. If you're going into a business relationship with a person and you know that this person does not prioritize important things, or they don't meet deadlines, or they don't see things through, or they've had many unfinished projects that they never return to. If you start a relationship, a business relationship with that kind of a person, then that is a kind of behavior that you should expect from that person. If you start a romantic relationship with someone that does not that usually has other people, that's usually in a relationship with other people, then you have to expect that's going to happen. You know, like, I feel like we complicate things, like we make our lives more complicated than it needs to be. Certain things to me are very simple, and things are very like plain, open, out, that we can see, and we should be able to make good decisions based on them. But we choose to ignore a lot of things that we see, and then when things don't go our way, we get all upset, and it complicates things for no reason, and we end up having kids with people we shouldn't have kids with, and it's just a mess. So I feel like when something's right in front of us, let's just look at it for what it is and acknowledge that this is what it is. This person is usually in a relationship with many other people, not just one person. So I cannot expect him or her to be in a relationship exclusively with me. Or as far as business goes, we can just tell ourselves, listen, this person does not finish projects, they don't really meet deadlines. So if I go into a relationship with this person, this is what I can expect. Like, life is so much easier than we make it. I just wanted to come on here and say that. Thank you guys for watching my video. I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.